Listen closely, my friends. The life you dream about is being decided in the moments when your mind tells you to quit, and you choose to keep going anyway. Most people don't lose their dreams in one dramatic moment. They lose them through thousands of tiny retreats. One skipped day becomes a week. One failure becomes an excuse. One rejection becomes a reason to stop trying. One difficult season convinces them that maybe they were never meant for greatness. And slowly, without realizing it, they don't abandon the dream. They abandon themselves. But what if quitting was never your personality? What if it was simply a response you practiced until it became automatic? Your brain learns from repetition. Every time you surrender to discomfort, you teach yourself that discomfort is a signal to retreat. Every time you continue despite it, you teach yourself something completely different. Pain is not a command. Fear is not a command. Doubt is not a command. The Stoics understood this principle with extraordinary depth. They did not build their philosophy around avoiding hardship. They trained themselves to meet hardship without surrendering their judgment. Marcus Aurelius faced war, loss, betrayal, illness, and enormous responsibility. Yet he repeatedly returned to the same battlefield, the control of his own mind. Epictetus, born into slavery, taught that circumstances may restrict the body without owning the will. That is the kind of mental freedom we are talking about. Think of a river cutting through stone. The river does not defeat the stone through one enormous attack. It wins through continuity, drop after drop, day after day, year after year. The stone remains hard, but the water remains present. Eventually, what seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Your mind can be trained the same way. You don't need to feel powerful every morning. You need to become someone who keeps moving even on the mornings when you don't. And in this video, we are uncovering 10 powerful principles that can train your mind to keep going when motivation disappears, when failure humiliates you, when progress becomes painfully slow, when nobody believes in you, and when quitting starts sounding reasonable. These aren't empty words meant to make you feel motivated for 5 minutes. They are principles designed to change the way you respond to resistance, fear, boredom, setbacks, and doubt. Because the goal isn't to create a mind that never feels tired. The goal is to create a mind that knows how to continue. And once your mind learns that quitting is not the answer, there are very few things in this world that can permanently stop you. Principle 1. Stop negotiating with your weakness. The first rule of a mind that refuses to quit is simple. Stop negotiating with the part of you that wants to escape discomfort. Every time you decide whether you are going to work, train, study, create, or continue based on how you feel, you hand your discipline over to your emotions, and emotions are unreliable commanders. They will tell you to rest when you need to move, to quit when you need to persist, and to choose comfort when your future requires sacrifice. A trained mind does not ask, "Do I feel like doing this?" It asks, "Did I decide to do this?" This is where most people lose the battle before the battle even begins. They wake up and start bargaining with themselves. "I'll do it later. I'm too tired today. Tomorrow I'll be more focused. I've already worked hard this week." The excuses sound reasonable because weakness rarely arrives wearing the face of weakness. It arrives disguised as logic. Your mind becomes a lawyer defending the easiest option. And if you keep giving it permission, eventually every difficult thing will have an explanation for why you shouldn't do it. The Stoics understood that character is built through the actions you repeat when nobody is forcing you. Marcus Aurelius didn't need to feel inspired every morning to fulfill his responsibilities. His duty did not disappear simply because his emotions changed. That distinction is powerful. Motivation asks you to feel ready. Discipline asks you to remain loyal to your decision. Once you understand this, you stop treating discomfort as a reason to quit and start seeing it as the price of becoming someone stronger. Imagine a soldier who receives an order and spends every morning asking whether he is in the mood to follow it. The army would collapse before the enemy ever arrived. Your goals work the same way. If every difficult moment becomes a new negotiation, your future will always be controlled by your weakest emotion of the day. You need fewer negotiations and more commitments. Decide what matters, define the standard, and then make your actions obey the decision, not the other way around. Look at the modern world around you. Everything is designed to make immediate comfort easier. Endless entertainment, instant food, constant notifications, effortless distraction. Your brain is surrounded by invitations to escape effort. That is why choosing difficulty deliberately has become a form of rebellion. Every time you do what you said you would do despite not wanting to, you cast a vote for the person you are becoming. One action may feel insignificant, but thousands of those actions eventually become character. So the next time your mind says, "Not today," don't immediately fight it and don't spend 20 minutes arguing with it. Simply recognize the voice and return to the commitment. You don't need to feel fearless. You don't need to feel motivated. You only need to take the next step, because the mind that never quits isn't a mind that never experiences weakness. It is a mind that has learned that weakness gets a voice, but it doesn't get the final decision. Principle 2. Make discomfort your training ground. Your mind becomes weak when it learns that discomfort always means stop. The moment something becomes difficult, boring, uncertain, or painful, you retreat, and every retreat teaches your brain the same lesson. Escape works. But the opposite is also true. Every time you remain present while something feels uncomfortable, you teach your nervous system that discomfort can be survived. You are not simply completing a difficult task. You are rewriting the meaning your mind gives to difficulty. Think about how a muscle becomes stronger. You don't build it by protecting it from resistance. You build it by giving it resistance, allowing it to struggle, recover, and return stronger. The mind follows a similar law. If you constantly remove every inconvenience, every difficult conversation, every demanding task, and every moment of uncertainty, you may create a life that feels comfortable, but you also create a mind that collapses the moment comfort disappears. Comfort can become a beautiful prison when you never learn how to leave it. This is why the Stoics deliberately changed their relationship with hardship. Seneca sometimes practiced voluntary discomfort, not because suffering itself was sacred, but because he wanted to discover that many things he feared were not actually necessary for his survival. He trained himself to experience less and still remain steady. The lesson for the modern world is powerful. You don't need to manufacture suffering, but you should stop running from every form of it. Sometimes the very discomfort you're avoiding is the classroom where your strength is waiting. Look at an athlete during the final minutes of a brutal competition. The body is exhausted, the lungs are burning, and every instinct is asking for relief. Yet the athlete who has trained correctly has learned something most people never discover. The feeling of "I can't" is not always a fact. Sometimes it is simply the mind reporting that you've reached a difficult point. There is a difference between genuine danger and temporary discomfort, and learning that difference can completely change your relationship with effort. The modern world gives you endless ways to escape the moment you become uncomfortable. Open another app, watch another video, delay the work, check the notification, find something easier. The danger isn't one distraction, it's the identity being built underneath them. Every escape tells your brain, when things become difficult, we leave. Instead, begin practicing the opposite response. Finish the difficult page. Complete the final repetition. Sit with the silence. Have the conversation you've been avoiding. Teach your mind that difficulty is not an emergency. But remember, mastering discomfort does not mean destroying yourself. Wisdom includes knowing the difference between productive struggle and genuine harm. You are not trying to become reckless. You are trying to become resilient. The goal is to reach the point where discomfort no longer controls your decisions. Because once your mind stops interpreting every obstacle as a reason to retreat, something extraordinary happens. The world doesn't necessarily become easier. You become harder to stop. Principle 3. Stop measuring your strength by your mood. One of the most dangerous lies your mind can tell you is, I don't feel strong enough today. Because if you believe it, your emotions become the judge of what you are capable of. You work when you feel motivated, you continue when you feel confident, and you quit when fear arrives. But your feelings were never designed to be a reliable measurement of your potential. Some of your most important victories will begin on days when you feel completely ordinary, exhausted, uncertain, and unprepared. A trained mind understands the difference between feeling weak and being defeated. You can feel afraid and still move forward. You can feel exhausted and still take one necessary step. You can doubt yourself and still keep your promise. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It is the decision that fear doesn't get to choose your direction. The Stoics understood this deeply because their philosophy wasn't built around creating perfect emotions. It was built around governing your response to imperfect circumstances. Imagine a lighthouse standing against a violent ocean. The waves don't ask whether the lighthouse is having a good day. They crash against it regardless. Storms arrive, winds rise, darkness surrounds it, but its purpose doesn't change because the weather changed. Your principles must become your lighthouse. When your mood is calm, follow them. When your mood is chaotic, follow them. When you feel powerful, follow them. When you feel broken, follow them. This is where Marcus Aurelius becomes so relevant. He didn't wake up every morning as some emotionless superhuman. He was a human being carrying grief, responsibility, uncertainty, and physical suffering. Yet he repeatedly reminded himself to return to the task in front of him. He didn't wait for the perfect internal state before acting. That is a lesson modern motivation culture often misses. You don't need to feel ready to behave like the person you want to become. Look at Cristiano Ronaldo's relentless training mentality. The public sees the finished athlete, the trophies, the goals, the physical condition, but greatness is built during the countless sessions when nobody cares how you feel. The deeper lesson isn't about football. It's about refusing to make your emotional state the boss of your standards. Your mood can change 10 times in a day. Your commitment should not. So create a rule for yourself. Never make a permanent decision from a temporary emotion. Don't quit your dream because you had one terrible week. Don't abandon your discipline because you failed today. Don't decide you're incapable simply because you're tired. Pause. Let the emotion pass. Then ask yourself one question. What would the person I'm becoming do next? And do that one thing. Because eventually, something changes inside you. You stop needing to feel powerful before you act powerfully. You stop waiting for motivation and start trusting your training. And when your mind learns that your actions are controlled by your principles rather than your moods, quitting becomes much harder, because you are no longer asking how you feel. You are asking who you have decided to become. Principle 4. Turn failure into instruction. Failure becomes dangerous when you treat it as a verdict instead of information. You fail once, and your mind immediately starts writing a story. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not talented. Maybe this isn't meant for me. But failure did not actually say any of those things. It only showed you that something about your approach did not work. The moment you understand that difference, failure stops being a wall and becomes a map. The Stoics were masters of this perspective. They didn't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" They asked, "What is this situation asking me to learn?" Epictetus understood that circumstances become material for character. A setback can expose impatience. Rejection can expose dependence on approval. Defeat can reveal a weakness in preparation. The event itself may hurt, but the meaning you extract from it determines whether that pain makes you weaker or wiser. Imagine a blacksmith striking a piece of metal. Every blow looks destructive if you don't understand the process. The hammer hits, the metal bends, the shape changes, and then it enters the fire again. But the blacksmith isn't destroying the metal. He is removing what prevents it from becoming what it can be. Your failures can work the same way. They can expose the habits, assumptions, and weaknesses that your success allowed you to ignore. Think about James Dyson, who went through thousands of failed prototypes before creating the vacuum technology that eventually made him famous. The important lesson isn't simply that he never gave up. It's deeper than that. He kept learning from what didn't work. If he had repeated the exact same mistake thousands of times without changing anything, persistence alone would have been useless. Real persistence is not blindly pushing the same door. It is continuing the mission while becoming intelligent enough to change the method. This is where many people misunderstand resilience. They think a strong person is someone who keeps doing the same thing no matter what happens. That's not strength, that's stubbornness. Strength is the ability to absorb reality without allowing reality to destroy your direction. If the strategy fails, change the strategy. If the habit fails, redesign the habit. If the environment keeps defeating you, change the environment. But don't confuse a failed method with a failed identity. So the next time you experience rejection, failure, embarrassment, or disappointment, don't immediately ask, "Should I quit?" Ask better questions. What did this reveal? What did I underestimate? What can I change? What did I learn that I couldn't have learned without this experience? Then take the lesson and return to the battlefield with more intelligence than you had before. Because failure only becomes final when you stop extracting wisdom from it. A trained mind doesn't say, "I failed, therefore I'm finished." It says, "I failed. Now I know more. Now I adjust. Now I return." Principle 5. Build a mind that can wait. A mind that cannot tolerate waiting will eventually become a mind that cannot tolerate greatness. We live in a world that gives us almost everything instantly. Instant entertainment, instant messages, instant answers, instant rewards. And slowly, without noticing, we begin expecting our dreams to behave the same way. When progress doesn't come quickly, we become frustrated. When results don't appear, we lose faith. But anything worth becoming takes longer than your impatience wants to allow. Look at a seed buried beneath the ground. For weeks, there may be no visible evidence that anything is happening. The soil looks unchanged. The surface looks silent. Someone impatient might dig it up and say, "Nothing is happening." But beneath the surface, roots are forming. The absence of visible progress does not mean the absence of progress. Your life can have seasons like this too. Periods where the work is happening internally long before the results become visible. The Stoics understood the discipline of accepting time. They didn't demand that reality move according to their preferred schedule. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly returned his attention to the present task instead of becoming consumed by what had not happened yet. This is a profound form of strength, to work without demanding immediate proof that the work will succeed. You plant the seed, you water it, you protect it, and then you allow time to do what only time can do. Think about Jeff Bezos and the philosophy behind long-term thinking. Amazon wasn't built around the fantasy of instant results. It required years of investment, experimentation, criticism, and patience before the scale became obvious. The lesson isn't about becoming a billionaire. It's about understanding that short-term discomfort can be the price of long-term transformation. If you constantly abandon something because it isn't rewarding you quickly enough, you may walk away just before the compound effect begins. This is why comparison can destroy persistence. You look at someone else's 10th year while you're standing in your 2nd month and wonder why your results aren't the same. You see the tree and forget the years it spent as a seed. You see the visible mountain and forget the thousands of steps beneath the climber's feet. Your responsibility is not to demand that your progress look impressive today. Your responsibility is to keep giving your future something to build upon. So learn to work without applause. Learn to practice without immediate results. Learn to continue when nobody notices. When the numbers are low, continue. When the progress is slow, continue. When the reward is delayed, continue. Not blindly, but patiently and intelligently. Measure your direction, improve your method, and then give the process enough time to reveal what consistent effort can actually produce. Because impatience asks, "Why isn't it happening yet?" A trained mind asks something far more powerful. "Have I given it enough time to become what I planted?" Principle 6. Remove the word impossible from your mind. The moment you tell yourself, "I can't," you have already started building a wall around your own potential. Sometimes the obstacle is real. Sometimes the path truly is difficult. But your mind has a dangerous habit of turning difficult into impossible before you have even given yourself a chance to find another way. A trained mind doesn't blindly believe that everything is possible. It simply refuses to declare defeat before the evidence demands it. History is filled with people who looked at an impossible wall and asked a different question: what if there is another way? The Wright brothers didn't begin with certainty that human flight would work. They began with the refusal to accept that the existing limits were the final limits. Their experiments failed repeatedly, but each failure narrowed the path toward an answer. What looked like impossibility was often simply a problem nobody had solved yet. This is where Stoicism becomes deeply practical. The Stoics did not teach that you control every outcome. They taught you to control your judgment, effort, and response. You may not control the mountain in front of you, but you control whether you study its shape, find another route, climb one section at a time, or surrender before you've even started. Epictetus understood that the mind can turn circumstances into either chains or training grounds. The obstacle is real. The conclusion you attach to it is your choice. Think of a climber standing beneath a massive mountain. Looking at the summit from the ground can make the entire journey feel impossible, But the climber doesn't climb the whole mountain in one movement. One step, one ledge, one breath, one decision, then another. Your brain often becomes overwhelmed because it tries to experience the entire future at once. Bring the problem back to the next controllable action, and suddenly the impossible becomes a sequence of possible steps. Look at Elon Musk's approach to problems through the lens of first principles thinking. Whatever you think of his methods or ambitions, the underlying idea is powerful. Instead of accepting assumptions as permanent truths, break a problem down to its fundamental components and rebuild your approach from there. Your own life needs the same examination. Maybe you can't do the entire thing today. Fine. What can you do today? Maybe you can't change everything. Fine. What can you change? Maybe you can't see the entire path. Fine. What is the next step you can see? This doesn't mean pretending every dream will succeed. A trained mind is not delusional. It is adaptable. If one door closes, it doesn't sit in front of the door forever calling itself a failure. It examines the situation, learns the lesson, searches for another route, and continues moving toward what still matters. The goal is not to force reality to obey you. The goal is to become so mentally flexible that reality cannot easily convince you to surrender. So when your mind says, "This is impossible," stop for a moment. Ask yourself, is it truly impossible? Or is it simply difficult, unfamiliar, slow, or uncomfortable? Then separate the facts from the fear. Break the problem down. Find the smallest move you can make. Take it. Then take another. Because sometimes the greatest prison isn't the obstacle standing in front of you. It's the limit you accepted before you ever tested yourself. Principle 7. Keep moving when nobody believes in you. There is a particular kind of loneliness that appears when you are trying to become someone your current environment cannot yet understand. People may question your ambition, laugh at your discipline, doubt your ability, or tell you that you're wasting your time. And if you need their approval before you continue, they don't even have to stop you. You will stop yourself. A trained mind learns to survive the silence between beginning and being understood. The dangerous thing about other people's opinions is that they can become an invisible permission system. You start asking, do they believe in me? Do they think I can do this? Will they approve? And suddenly your confidence is no longer coming from your own principles. It's being rented from an audience. The Stoics understood that external approval is unstable. If your peace depends on applause, criticism will always have the power to destroy it. Your task is not to make everyone understand your path. Your task is to walk it with integrity. Think of a lighthouse standing alone at the edge of the sea. It doesn't need the ocean to applaud its light. It doesn't become brighter because ships praise it, and it doesn't become darker because someone ignores it. Its purpose remains the same. Your discipline must become like that. Let people misunderstand you. Let them doubt you. Let them underestimate you. You don't need to argue with every voice outside you when you are still trying to strengthen the voice inside you. Look at Oprah Winfrey, who faced rejection and was told she was not suited for television before eventually building one of the most influential media careers in the world. The point isn't that every person who doubts you is wrong, or that persistence guarantees fame. The deeper lesson is that someone else's early judgment cannot be allowed to become your permanent identity. Their opinion is information at most, not a sentence handed down by reality. Marcus Aurelius faced something similar from the opposite direction: enormous public responsibility. Yet his philosophy repeatedly brought him back to the question of what he was responsible for doing. That is the mental shift you need. Stop spending your energy proving yourself to people who aren't walking your road. Your results will eventually speak more clearly than your explanations ever could. Until then, let your consistency become your evidence. And understand this: sometimes nobody believes in you because you haven't given them anything to believe in yet. That's okay. You don't need to announce every goal. You don't need to convince everyone. Work quietly, build the skill, keep the promise, show up again tomorrow, then again. Let repetition create evidence where words cannot. Because there will be seasons when your dream is visible only to you. Don't abandon it simply because nobody else can see what you see yet. A trained mind doesn't need everyone to believe. It needs one person to keep going, you. Principle 8. Keep your promises to yourself. Every time you promise yourself that you will do something and then break that promise, something deeper than the task is being damaged. You are teaching your mind that your own word has no authority. You say, "Tomorrow I'll start." Tomorrow arrives and you don't. You say, "I'll finish this." Discomfort appears and you walk away. Eventually, the problem isn't that you lack motivation. The problem is that you no longer fully trust yourself. Self-trust is built quietly through evidence. Imagine a bridge being constructed one piece at a time. You don't wake up one morning and magically have a bridge strong enough to carry enormous weight. You place one beam, then another, then another. Your promises work the same way. Every small promise you keep becomes another piece of evidence that you can rely on yourself, and every promise you repeatedly break weakens that structure. This is why the Stoics placed so much importance on living according to principles rather than impulses. Epictetus taught his students to focus on what they could actually govern, and that includes the choices they make in ordinary moments. You don't need to promise yourself that you'll completely transform your life tomorrow. Make a smaller promise that you can actually honor. Then honor it. Your mind doesn't become disciplined because you make enormous declarations. It becomes disciplined because you repeatedly prove that your decisions can survive discomfort. Look at Kobe Bryant's legendary approach to practice. What made his mentality powerful wasn't simply intensity. It was the willingness to repeatedly show up and do the work long before the world saw the result. The deeper lesson is not about becoming an athlete. It is about creating an identity where your actions confirm your words. If you tell yourself that you are going to train, train. If you say you're going to study, study. If you decide you're going to create, create. Make your behavior stop contradicting the person you claim you want to become. But start carefully. Don't build your identity around impossible promises. If you constantly set standards you cannot maintain, you'll create another cycle of disappointment. Instead, make your commitments clear and measurable. 10 minutes of focused work, one completed task, one workout, one page, one difficult conversation. Then repeat. Small promises kept consistently can become stronger than enormous promises made emotionally. Eventually, something powerful happens. Your mind begins to recognize a new pattern. When I decide something, I follow through. That belief changes the way you approach difficulty. You don't need to wonder whether you'll quit because you've accumulated evidence that you don't immediately abandon yourself. Fear still appears, laziness still appears, doubt still appears, but they no longer have the same authority. Because the strongest form of confidence isn't believing that you can do anything. It's knowing that when you give yourself a command, you can trust yourself to follow it. Principle 9. Remember why you started. When the road becomes painful, your mind starts focusing on everything you are losing instead of everything you are building. The hours feel long. The results feel distant. The sacrifices become heavy. And suddenly, quitting begins to look reasonable. This is where you need something deeper than motivation. You need a reason strong enough to survive your worst days. Because when the excitement disappears, your reason becomes the rope that keeps you from falling. Most people begin with emotion. They see a better future, feel inspired, make a promise, and imagine themselves transformed. But emotion is a spark, not a fuel source. Eventually, the excitement fades, and then the real question appears: why am I still doing this? If your answer is only money, praise, attention, or proving someone wrong, your commitment will eventually weaken. External rewards can start the journey, but they rarely have enough power to carry you through the darkest part of it. The Stoics understood that a meaningful life requires something greater than temporary pleasure. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly brought himself back to duty, purpose, and the role he had chosen to fulfill. He didn't ask every morning whether responsibility felt exciting. He asked what the moment required of him. That is the difference between chasing motivation and living from purpose. When you know what matters, you don't need every day to feel meaningful before you act meaningfully. Imagine a ship crossing a vast ocean during a storm. The waves can hide the horizon. The wind can push the ship off course. For a moment, the destination may disappear completely from sight. But the captain doesn't abandon the journey simply because the destination cannot be seen from the deck. The compass still points in the right direction. Your purpose is your compass. You may not see the result today, but you can still know whether you're moving toward it. Think about Malala Yousafzai, who continued advocating for education despite facing violence and enormous personal risk. Whatever your own goal may be, the deeper lesson is about conviction. When something becomes connected to a value greater than comfort, resistance becomes easier to endure. You don't need to copy another person's mission. You need to discover what matters enough to you that temporary discomfort cannot easily purchase your surrender. So when you feel like quitting, don't immediately ask, "How do I make this easier?" Ask something more important. Why did I begin? What kind of person am I trying to become? What would happen if I walked away now? What future am I building every time I continue? Write your answers down. Return to them when your emotions become loud. Because memory fades when pain becomes intense, and sometimes you need to deliberately remind yourself what the struggle is for. And understand this final lesson. You don't need to love the struggle. You don't need to enjoy every sacrifice. You simply need to remember that some things are worth enduring discomfort for. Because when your reason becomes stronger than your excuses, your mind changes. You stop asking whether you can keep going. You remember why you must. Principle 10. Train your mind to start again. The strongest mind is not the mind that never gets knocked down. It is the mind that refuses to let one bad chapter become the entire story. You will have days when you break your routine, lose your discipline, make the wrong decision, or fall back into an old habit. And in those moments, your mind may whisper, "You ruined everything." Don't believe it. One bad day is an event. Turning that event into an identity is a decision. Think of a forest after a wildfire. From a distance, everything can look dead. Blackened ground, broken branches, silence where life once stood. But beneath the surface, roots remain. New growth eventually pushes through the ashes. Your setbacks can be like that. They may destroy a version of your routine, but they don't have to destroy your ability to begin again. Starting over isn't proof that you failed. Sometimes it's proof that you refuse to stay defeated. This is deeply Stoic because the Stoics never promised that you would control every outcome. They taught you to return to what remains within your control. Marcus Aurelius could not undo yesterday, reverse a loss, or command circumstances to become easier, but he could decide what he would do with the next moment. That is where your power lives. Not in rewriting the past, but in refusing to let the past dictate the next action. Look at Michael Jordan, who was famously cut from his high school varsity basketball team early in his development. The important lesson isn't the story itself, it's what happened afterward. Rejection could have become an identity. I'm not good enough. Instead, it became material for more work. That's the difference between a fragile ego and a trained mind. A fragile ego asks, what does this failure say about me? A resilient mind asks, what can I build from this? So if you fall off your routine, return the next morning. If you waste a day, protect the next hour. If you fail at something, study the failure and make another attempt. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for the perfect month. Don't create some dramatic ceremony around beginning again. Restart immediately. The longer you stay away, the more comfortable quitting becomes. The faster you return, the more natural resilience becomes. And remember this, your greatest enemy may not be failure itself. It may be the shame that convinces you to hide after failure. Shame makes you avoid the work because you don't want to face the evidence that you slipped. But courage is facing it without drama, accepting responsibility without destroying yourself, and taking the next step. Because a trained mind doesn't say, I will never fall. It says, if I fall, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I will get back up. Now, you understand the real meaning of never quit. It doesn't mean you will never feel tired, afraid, frustrated, rejected, or broken. It means those feelings will no longer have the authority to decide your future. You learn to stop negotiating with weakness, to use discomfort as training, to stop measuring yourself by your mood, to turn failure into instruction, to become patient, to challenge your mental limits, to continue when nobody believes in you, to keep your promises, to remember your purpose, and most importantly, to start again whenever you fall. Because your mind is not something you simply inherit and accept. It is something you train. Every difficult choice is a repetition. Every temptation you resist is a repetition. Every time you continue when quitting feels easier, you are strengthening the identity that will eventually carry you through circumstances your current self might not be able to imagine. Think about the person you could become if you stop teaching your mind that discomfort means escape. Imagine waking up years from now and realizing that the difference wasn't one giant moment of courage. It was hundreds of ordinary moments when you could have quit and chose to continue. The future version of you is being built inside these small decisions right now. So when life becomes heavy, don't immediately ask why it is happening to you. Ask, what is this moment training me to become? When you fail, learn. When you fall, rise. When you're afraid, move carefully, but keep moving. When nobody believes in you, let your consistency become your answer. And when your mind whispers that you cannot continue, remember that a thought is not an order. One day, the struggle you are experiencing now may become the very evidence you use to prove that you were stronger than you believed. The pain will pass. The doubt will pass. The difficult season will pass. But the character you build while surviving it can remain with you for the rest of your life. So train your mind, not to avoid the storm, but to remain standing inside it. Not to become someone who never struggles, but someone who refuses to surrender because of the struggle. Because when your mind is trained to continue, failure becomes temporary, pressure becomes training, fear becomes information, and obstacles become part of the path. And if this video gave you even one reason to keep going, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment, I will not quit, below. And if you have a friend who gives up too easily, share this video with them. Because sometimes one powerful reminder is enough to make someone stand back up. You don't need to be unstoppable today. You only need to refuse to stop.